Just when you think you know the answers, NoDQ&A changes the questions. No, I'm just kidding. We don't change the questions. Welcome, everyone, to NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner, Aaron Rift. Thank you very much for checking out the show. I really appreciate it. Keep subscribing, keep watching the videos, keep spreading the word, and we'll just see where things go. But for now, let's get right down to your questions via FormSpring. What is the deal with the whole text thing between Nash, Punk, and Triple H? Why has everything been so vague and confusing regarding it? Who do you think sent in this text, and where is the whole thing going to go? Well, the reason it sounds vague and confusing is probably because WWE isn't sure which direction they want to go with the storyline. I mean, if the Raw GM storyline is any indication, this thing might go nowhere. In my opinion, the most likely scenario is that Triple H turns heel and it's revealed that him and Nash were in cahoots all along. They reform the Clique or whatever. That's where I see it going from a logical standpoint, but you never know. Since TNA Impact wants to improve the X Division, do you see the Suicide character making a return anytime soon? Sure, he can make a return. Maybe it'll be Matt Hardy. If The Rock wins the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 28, do you think he will relinquish the championship soon after and return to starring in movies, or will he actually defend the championship? It's hard to say. I mean, The Rock is going to be appearing at Survivor Series, maybe the Royal Rumble. I think that it all depends on what his movie schedule is like. If he doesn't have a big movie coming up after WrestleMania, perhaps he'll win the title and stick around for a month or two. I don't really see him staying around any longer than 1 month or 2 months, to be quite honest with you, if at all. I could very well see him just winning the title and then dropping it the next night and they do a tournament or whatever to crown a new champion. Who knows? In your honest opinion, who do you think are the top 5 in-ring performers of all time? They don't have to all be mainstream guys. Well, as I said on the very first NoDQ&A video, my all-time favorite in-ring performer, no doubt, would be Shawn Michaels. Rounding up the top 5, I would say Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Kurt Angle, Ric Flair, and I cannot even think of a 5th guy right now. Definitely those 4. Oh, I got my 5th one. The man that does not exist, according to WWE. Figure out who that is. Hey, Aaron. What are the possibilities of Punk getting a faction with Cabana and the Kings of Wrestling? I definitely think it's a possibility, especially if WWE goes through with the whole Triple H turning heel and aligning with Kevin Nash. You have the Clique as a faction, and then CM Punk could bring in his friends from Ring of Honor to start their own faction to feud with Triple H. I definitely see that as a possibility. It would be a good way to bring back Cabana and bring in the Kings of Wrestling. They'll automatically mean something when they're in there aligned with CM Punk because he'll give them the stamp of approval. So I think that's a great idea. Will it happen? Once again, it all depends on what kind of mood Vince McMahon is in, what kind of mood the creative team is in. Do they want to really give these ROH guys a big push right out of the gate? That's what it comes down to right there. Hey, Aaron, pending Danielson winning a title, do you think he will be booked as a weak champion? Well, if history is any indication, we all saw what happened with Rey Mysterio when he was world champion. We saw what happened when Jack Swagger was world champion. Yeah, most likely Daniel Bryan, if he wins the world title, which I said before, I think it's a pretty good possibility considering he's been losing every match on TV. And normally, based on past history, that means he's going to win the title. Yeah, I mean, WWE doesn't really push the world champion if they don't really see the guy as a world champion. It's like they just throw the belt on him like they did with Jack Swagger, but they really never saw Swagger as a top level guy. And I don't think Vince McMahon is ever going to see Daniel Bryan as a main event material guy. You know, what Michael Cole says about him on TV is basically what Vince McMahon feels about Daniel Bryan. He really knows he's a great wrestler, but he thinks Bryan's a nerd and, you know, too small. Whatever you want to say about him. But yeah, that's probably what's going to happen with him. He'll end up winning the title and then losing every match on TV. Hey, Aaron, what are the chances that Kevin Nash ends up screwing Triple H at Night of Champions and reforms NWO Clique or whatever as WWE wants to call it, and enlist CM Punk as its first new member? Well, in a logical world, I would say that that is as close to 0% chance as happening as possible. But this is professional wrestling we're talking about. This is WWE. Although I would say if Vince Russo was booking this, that would almost certainly happen. Since it's WWE, I say it's less than 50% chance. But once again, it all depends on what kind of mood Vince McMahon is in. Does he want to do some big swerve? You know, WWE sometimes has this attitude where if something's too predictable, they change it up, even if it doesn't make any sense. TNA has done this lots of times. It could just be a situation where WWE just wants to swerve everybody, and it would make no sense. Absolutely no sense. And they would try to make it make sense, but man, I just hope, for the sake of my sanity, that they stick with a plan and do something that makes some kind of logical sense. I'm hoping very much. CM Punk's break from WWE was too short, me included. Okay. How long do you feel he should have been out of WWE? What would be your proposed timetable? What pay-per-views would you have the matches at of the Punk Cena Triple H feud be up to where we are currently? Okay. I don't know who sent in this question, but please try to paraphrase your question better. I think you're trying to say is how long, like if I was in charge, how would have I done this whole situation with how long Punk would have been gone and what the matches would have been. If it was me, I would have kept CM Punk out for at least a couple of months. I think the ideal situation in the perfect world would have been to do CM Punk versus John Cena for the titles at Survivor Series. And then get into the CM Punk Triple H feud and have that at the Royal Rumble. That would have been what I would have done. Yeah, I definitely thought WWE brought back Punk too soon. And it kind of, the storyline was so hot and it kind of fizzled a little bit when CM Punk came back so quickly. You know, part of the reason people were so much into it was because Punk was an outsider. And I think WWE could have done a lot more with that. So, yeah. After football season is over, do you think WWE will continue to put Raw stars on SmackDown and SmackDown stars on Raw if the ratings get better? It depends. It depends. You know, we'll see what happens with the ratings. If the ratings don't go down too much, you know, it could really go either way, 50-50. What's going on, Aaron? How do you feel about Jushin Thunder Liger making a run in WWE? I know he's coming of age and he just lost his title in JAPW, but I think he would be good work against the Sin Cara guy and maybe Ray or Bourne. I think the ship has sailed on that one. Liger is just too old. He's never been a WWE guy. Why would Vince McMahon want to bring in this outsider that's never worked for his company and give him a push? We all saw what happened with guys like Ultimo Dragon, how well that turned out. Highly, highly unlikely. Hey, Aaron, do you think with Daniel Bryan saying he's going to cash Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, do you think he won't and turn heel? Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a road that WWE can take that they haven't gone to yet. Daniel Bryan is a heel. They could always have him turn and then Michael Cole will side with Bryan. They'll hug and become friends. I could see that as a possibility, and it's not a bad idea, actually. So, we'll see. I don't know. Alright, that about does it for NoDQ&A video. Thank you very much once again for checking out the show. I'd like to give a special shout out to SwordHunter12 and leave a comment on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. Maybe if you post a really funny or awesome comment, I'll mention you on the show. And you can submit questions at formspring.me/AaronRift. And that about does it. We'll see you next time for NoDQ&A video.